Hi guys, Kaze here. Back with some more Destiny's Princess, a war story, a love story. This time we're doing ending A. That's how to put it according to the thing. It's ending A. So we're gonna see how this goes. We already did ending B, we already did the extra chapters and all that. So we're gonna see how this end plays out. Alright, I hope you guys look forward to it. It's called, you can somewhat see it. It's like somewhere like there. Divine creation of void. I'm blocking out the last word. We already know this. Really should move myself or something. I don't know. Alright, onwards is what I'm trying to say. Onward. We shall go. The earth rumbled loudly beneath my feet. Everything shook so hard I thought the whole world would turn upside down. The castle! It was falling. The watchtower was crushed as if it were been hit by a sledgehammer and fell to the ground. Rocks fell from the stone walls, and there was the sound of something large tumbling down. Kaze! As I stood there watching in stunned silence, Yukimura grabbed my hand. He shouted to all the others also staring up at the castle. Run! We have to get far away! His cry brought everyone back to their senses. Ah! Screaming, the men, women, soldiers, lay people alike all scattered, running away. Yukimura and I ran for our lives, hand in hand. The castle had been so heartbroken to see burn and fall. In the end, it was being destroyed. And yet, it was different than last time. I said it myself, as long as the people survived, we could rebuild the castle. And even if I couldn't have that, I had Yukimura. And that fact alone was 1,000,000,000 times greater happiness than when I had been dying all alone. Behind us, the castle continued to crumble. It was as if it was trying to return to its true state the night the demons had destroyed it. The next morning, the sun rose, and finally able to survey the area, Yukimura and I gazed at the castle, or more precisely the ruins that once had been the castle. Only the stone walls remained, and the rest charred and burnt a deep black. Yukimura sighed and scratched its head. It's totally destroyed. Totally. You don't seem very upset. Yukimura glanced at me from the side of his eyes and smiled. Only because at least the people are all safe and I have you here with me. I see. I guess that's good enough. Yukimura again smiled comfortingly. I don't even want to think about what comes next. Where are we going to start? I smiled at Yukimura's complaining and then suddenly realized something with alarm. The castle had fallen not long after the dagger had been destroyed. The castle, built by the dagger's demon magic, had lost its power and returned to its former state. Even though last night it had been untouched by fire, now it looked obviously burnt. In that case, what had happened to the people? Subjects and vassals had all forgotten who Yukimura was. He remembered who I was for now, but what would happen next? I wonder if Father and the other men are okay. Well, we saw the fire. The demons are gone, so Takayori must have been killed, but as we talked, we heard a rustling of footsteps in the undergrowth approaching us. Yukimura? Is that you? Masamune, you're alive! It was Masamune along with a few vassals. Everyone looked exhausted. I'm glad you're okay. Was anyone hurt? Well, Princess, The vassals, though, appeared fine, glanced nervously between Yukimura and Masamune. You could tell by his eyes he no longer remembered either of them. So where are Father and Kotaro? Yes, about that. Something slightly strange happened. Masamune tilted his head, perplexed. We fought through the demons, left the castle, and burned Takayori's body. Then suddenly Kotaro disappeared, but knowing he's a ninja, I didn't think much of it. But then, as we were about to leave, Nobunaga suddenly stopped and said something. He said, "We did what we had to do." And then he just vanished. What? Yukimura's eyes went wide. And that means he was like spirited off by a ghost or something? I'm not sure. He just up and disappeared right before my eyes. That's insane. I gulped, and Yukimura too stared wildly. There must be some mistake. Maybe he slipped and fell down somewhere or something. There wasn't anything he could have fallen or hid. We looked everywhere for him. And while we did, the soldiers all said weird things. They couldn't remember Nobunaga at all. And they looked at me too, whom they had just followed and about like I was a stranger. What the hell is that all about? Yukimura looked utterly at loss. Timidly, I broke in. But, Masamune, nothing happened to you? Masamune looked at me. He stared at me as if seeing me for the first time and then hesitantly answered. Actually, I've been confused about something this whole time. Why am I talking to you like we're such good friends? Huh? And who are you? The instant Masamune turned to me and said those words, right before my eyes, he disappeared into thin air. Masamune? Eee! A ghost! It's like Scooby-Doo all over again. The celestial screamer ran away. Yukimura looked around. Masamune! Masamune! He shouted at the top of his lungs. I can't do that here. It's nighttime. I grabbed onto his arm. Yukimura, he's gone home. You won't find him anywhere. Gone home? Gone home where? Our castle is his home. I shook my head again at the frantic Yukimura. This was so hard to say. It was hard, but the time had come to tell. They had granted my wish. They had all risked their lives to fight and save the castle. If I told Yukimura now, I would never be able to see him again. Still holding tight to his sleeve, I looked up at his face. I love you, Yukimura. Kaze? Yukimura's face blurred. My eyes burned, but the tears trailing down my cheeks were cooled. There's something I have to tell you. I looked straight at Yukimura through my swimming vision as I spoke. The sky was a clear azure blue. The blackened ruins around us were etched with ink in the midst of it all. I prayed deep in my heart, but no matter how much time passed, I would at least never forget Yukimura's face. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. I told you to take a picture. But oh well. Alright, and epilogue. Epilogue B. Epilogue B. Let's go. Or A. I'm sorry. Epilogue A. Epilogue A. There we go. Some time passed. Finally, everything's quiet. After the castle had fallen, I found a small room left standing and had been sleeping there. Life was hard, but compared to those who had lost their houses, at least I had a roof over my head. That wasn't the end of the country's chaos. No sooner had the demons disappeared, the surrounding watchful nations rose up. For a while I had forgotten that, before the demons we battled with other humans. What could we have done, having lost our castle and our main generals? In the end, we were forced into unconditional surrender. Perhaps the destruction of our country was Rikaku Takayori's will. He and the demons had perished, but his wish may have ended up being granted anyway. Princess, I believe it's almost time. I saw that the handmaid opened the door and spoke. Yes, I'll be right there. I knelt in front of the maid who had served me all these years and gently took her hand. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I wish you the best. You too, Princess. The maid wiped away tears with her sleeve. I'm so sorry. If only our country were in such a state. No, this is my choice. Fortunately, the monarch of the neighboring country who had come to rule us was very wise. He would surely guide our nations through an era well without oppressing the people. At this point, our land and our people so weary that may have been blessing enough. However, he also came to me asking for my union with his second son. It was only natural, ruling princes or not, my presence made a difference to all people. Given how normal it would have been just to kill off the ruling family, it was a very generous step. However, I refused his offer. I want to join the Buddhist covenant as a nun, to pray for all the departed souls of this war. That was the excuse I gave. After that, a year had passed, and now the country had found peace. Under the pretext of leaving for the covenant, I set on a journey with a single attendant. The handmaiden wiped away tears and smiled. Well, he's waiting for you. good to each other and don't fight too much. That might be a little difficult. Bickering is practically a habit at this point. Please, have a good life. We exchanged one last smile and then parted. When I got to the forest, there was an attendant waiting for me. Sorry I'm late. Are you ready to go, princess? The attendant bowed his head and spoke reverently, and I smiled and peered at his face. You can just call me Kaze now. No one else is here. I guess you're right. Yukimura, nimbly stood and gave me a childish grin. I had lost the castle, my relatives, and even my identity as princess, and yet Yukimura had stayed by my side. That was more than enough for me. As I walked along side by side, Yukimura scratched his head. You know, you've got so many names. Sometimes I forget what to call you. Didn't you just call me Kaze from the first day you got here? Yeah, but in my heart, I sometimes call you sister. Then why did you never call me that out loud? I just felt like it'd be too formal. Is that really why? That, and I felt a little guilty, don't you think, seeing as how I was in love with you? Hey, the Tanuki's blushing. Oh, Yukimura. That day, everything had returned to normal. In the end, Yukimura had remained in this world. He had forgiven me. So, in other words, using magic, you summoned me here from another world. Yep. And all the things I remember, those aren't truly my own memories? Exactly. Taking a good half hour of the truth to really sink in. Seriously, it took you long enough to get that. Tired of talking in the forest, we had just unintentionally wandered back to the castle. Of course, we were encouraged by the recent news of the burned ruins still standing. I can't help it. It's your fault for explaining it so confusingly. Oh, so you're trying to blame it on me. It's definitely not my fault. Yes, it is. It's your fault for being so slow. I really doubt that. As I looked at Yukimura pouting, I felt simultaneously amazed and relieved. For the time being, it didn't seem like he'd be disappearing anytime soon. However, the page that delivered the news of the unburned castle had no idea who Yukimura was. Although since it was he who had shouted to run from the castle when the castle fell, she did not dislike him. That was obvious. She was letting him into the castle like this and letting us be alone. Timidly appeared at Yukimura's face. So, can you remember anything? Have you? Yukimura's arms folded and head cocked to the side, snapped his head up. I don't know. Oh, of course, I was glad he's still here, but I also felt something like a little let down. There's one thing I do know. Yukimura took my hand happily. We're not really brother and sister, right? No one's going to be bothered by us being together now, will they? Right, that's true. Yukimura grinned and took off his shirt. Yukimura, what are you doing? Slowly, Yukimura tugged my arm and pulling me into a hug. Yukimura, what? Ooh. Oh, I like that. Yep. I like that. Finishing what we started in the bath, in the ruins of the castle. No one's going to interrupt us now. His lips then found mine in a greedy kiss. His lips were warm. I tightly shut my eyes. Yukimura, we can't. It's still light out. It's fine. Don't worry. But... Yukimura smiled and put his hands on my belt. I can't wait till tonight. Just give up trying to stop me. Yukimura spoke, his voice full of passion, and again captured my lips. His hands parted my hem, and as I traveled upward, I had no choice but to surrender. Yay. Darn it. Why? And now, time skip. Several months passed. Sadly. The days had flown by, busy as we were with various things. No one could remember Yukimura, and there were some who were suspicious of him. I also still needed to mourn my parents and real brothers, so a wedding was out of the question. So both of us rushed around, constantly being interrupted and somehow making time to meet. Until at last we found a moment alone, just two of us. Hey, Yukimura, do you really not remember anything at all? I looked up at Yukimura walking beside me and asked. Why do you ask? Because I just can't make sense of why you're the only one who stayed here. Would you rather I remember my past? Yukimura spoke with a slight cruel and teasing smile. Oh, of course not, but to be perfectly honest, it made me nervous. I still worried that one day Yukimura would suddenly disappear. My anxiety must have shown on my face. Yukimura smiled and stroked my hair. You know, Kaze, I'm actually happy that I got to stay here. You are? Yeah. Everyone's been really good to me, and it's taught my reckless behavior a little patience. It's true. At first, you were always so careless and getting hurt all the time. Yeah, well... Anyway, besides, didn't you say you wanted a savior after you lost everything? Yeah, I did. I did too. I don't remember much of the world I came from. But I feel like there's something similar I used to think about. I thought it was all gone, and now I feel like there's something after all. Yukimura. So actually, I might have chosen to stay here. Yukimura took my hand and gave it a tight squeeze. And now I have you. Yes, you do. I squeezed Yukimura's hand back. My foot's asleep. I'm sorry. Pardon the weird faces. When I thought about it, it was the same for me. That night I'd run from the demons thinking I was close to death. The feelings in my heart had been the fear and loneliness of dying alone. Maybe the wish which Edgar had granted had actually been about that, not wanting to be alone. Now that I have Yukimura, I arranged a plan to secretly live a quiet life in a small village. There, I'd throw away my status as princess and live as a regular girl. Not knowing the ways of the world, I knew it would be hard, but it was the path I had chosen. From now on, Yukimura, I want us to live sensibly, within my means. Within your means? You mean within your own means as a tanuki? No! Ouch! I lightly pinched Yukimura's hand. I then smiled and gave it another squeeze. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I want to live more down to earth. I want to do all the things I could never do while at the castle. I wanted to find out, one by one, just what I could do. Along with Yukimura, the two of us would lead a new life together. Yeah, I'm sure with the two of us together, we'll make it work somehow. Yeah, I'm sure we will. Well, let's get going. Yukimura smiled ecstatically and wrapped his arm around my shoulders. Oh, okay. I was like, why do we have to stare? Why are we staring at the clouds? Yeah, we got that one too. All right. Let's see. I showed the gallery before, but the one I didn't get to show up was this one, which really didn't change. But yay! We have all the pictures now. Oh, there it is. So that's what the full image was. Let me see, it's her kimono, not his. There's his hand. Okay. Awesome. Good job. We did it. We have finished. There's more pictures in this one. I only got this one picture. The other one got like five pictures for the second ending, which is, I think ending A was better than ending B. At least then I found out what happened to everybody. Ending B was like, screw everyone else. I'm not sure why I have like multicolor ones either. I think they're all supposed to be gold, but alright. Anyway, we finished it all. Happy days. We finished Yuki Sanada. So that leaves us with choosing between these hot guys next. So since I've been working on this one, I know Dorili is working on Hinabe, and now she's on to Kotaro Fuma. So what I'm going to do, since she did those two and I did him, I'm going to do Masamune Date next. And we'll continue on from there. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and all that. And if you want to find more information on how to keep up with me, like on my social media and all that, the links to that are in the description area below. I'll see you guys later. Bye, Kaze out. Bye.